Welcome back, guys. So you might have seen, if you're a passenger on an aircraft, on the little TV that on the maps, that you're close to your destination airport, but yet you haven't landed, and you're sitting there circling, or whatever, waiting, and you're like, why haven't we landed yet? Don't be alarmed. Most of the time, or nearly 99% of the time, there's no issue with the aircraft. Shouldn't worry about it. It's just a couple of reasons for that. So we'll start with the first one. Number one, it might be that the standard procedure, because for every airport, there's standard procedures you have to follow, which is through a book, kind of, if you want to call it, that the pilot has to go through before he can approach the airport, and he has to get clearance. So he has to remain at that point doing that procedure, say doing holding pattern, we call it. Say 2 loops or whatever the procedure says, and then he can get the clearance to go and land the aircraft. That's the first reason. Second reason is that he hasn't had the clearance from ATC, which is air traffic controllers, to proceed to the airport. That can be due to many factors, either that there's traffic, other aircrafts that are there already, and that's especially right for busy airports and congested airports. So they've got to manage it properly, and you want to have a cluster of aircrafts next to each other, because that's dangerous. So therefore they try to separate them and then bring him in slowly. So until he gets that clearance, he's going to have to keep doing that. And I myself, as a passenger, actually have experienced that for 30 minutes or 40 even, where the pilot had just had to circle because it was just so busy at that airport, right? And he couldn't get the clearance to come in to land. And then we finally went and landed. That's the second reason. Third reason would be that the weather isn't so great, because as a pilot and for the safety of the plane, we have something called minimums. Minimums is that we cannot go in terrible weather, because that endangers the aircraft and the passengers, right? And we can't do that. So therefore, sometimes the pilot will sit there just circling, because on the meteorological report that we get, it's clarifies times of like between time, for example, from 1400 till 1600, right? Is the weather's 1, 2, 3, like bad. So therefore, if you arrive like at 1400, you got to give it a half an hour buffer till after the weather clears up. So he might be waiting until the weather clears up for him to continue to land safely and under the regulations, because it's kind of like a law that you can't. If he does land within bad weather, he will get punished for it, even as bad as get let off his job and can't be a pilot ever again. Another reason would be that the weather isn't actually getting better. He's held for that long, and he's trying to find an alternate airport, that means that, say for example, your destination airport would have been Sydney, and you're sitting there circling near Sydney, but it's not getting any better. You're gonna have to go to Melbourne or to Canberra. So he'll be there checking the weather out for Canberra or Melbourne, and getting clearance to proceed to the alternate aerodrome. Now, one last thing would be that if they did have an issue with the aircraft, they're trying to solve it and trying to be far away from the airport, just in case something does go wrong. Then they're not overpopulated areas, where if it does happen, then you can imagine if anything goes wrong with the aircraft and you're over a populated city or town, it's going to be bad. So therefore, they try to do it far away from that. Example of that would be that the landing gear, for example, isn't coming down, isn't retracting. They're trying to solve it, or a light is an issue. It could be anything. Don't be alarmed. Just normal procedures to follow, and that's all, of course, for your safety, and to ensure that you land safely at your destination with no issues. But like I said, most of the time will be the procedural issues that will be going on at a busy airport, normal procedure, ATC clearance, or just that you got to find an alternate aerodrome due to bad weather. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please follow my social, click the like button, subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Till then, bye for now.